Well, back out on Park Point, running the trails. Getting closer and closer to D-Day. During the last video, I was talking about April 25th, depending on weather. Right now, April 28th, again, depending on weather, looks like the better day. We'll see. It's also dependent on the trail conditions and a scouting trip I'll take at least 1 week before D-Day to look at the trail conditions. I've been running on Hawk Ridge Road, which is a gravel road, for the last 2 weeks. And it's so boring. So I'm back out here. As you can see, lake trout season is open. There's a lot of fishermen out there. And the weather says it's 50 degrees today, which is hard to believe, but I'll take it. So we're just trying to get some time on feet. I'm ready. I just got to stay fit, not get hurt. Had another doctor's appointment. Everything's good. Just as I was walking out the door, he looked at me and he said, "How do you keep from losing weight with all this running and training?" And I started to tell him, but it's a very, very long story. I basically said, well, it's very scientific, which it is. Over the years, you develop products that you can eat and give you what you need and prevent upset stomach and easy to swallow when you're tired. And you stick with it. So I told him that basically when I do long runs, I maintain 200 to 250 calories an hour intake. And 200 mLs of water for every hour on the trail. And then I bragged again to him and showed him my wrist about how I never wear a watch ever, except when I'm on a long run. And I say, it's just a regular old watch, you know, second hand. Tick, tick, tick. But every time that second hand gets to a quarter hour, I'm taking calories and sipping fluids. And that's what you have to do continuously on an ultra. Because if you don't, you might think you're doing good, but then all of a sudden your body will just crash on you. And you'll be curled up in the fetal position 20 miles from nowhere. Sicker than a dog. It can take 45 minutes to an hour to get back up and get your stuff together. So you really can't afford that when you're in the wilderness. Some other people out here on this beautiful day. And as far as regular diet, how do I keep my weight on? Hey, what are you doing? That dog is going somewhere. I hope he's not lost. As far as my regular diet, man, I have a regular diet. I've eaten very little red meat of any kind. Occasionally some pork carnitas or something like that, but basically chicken and fish, a lot of salmon, a lot of carbs, probably at least 5 servings of fruit a day, a lot of grains. We've been making our own bread, so we have a controlled environment and controlled ingredients. We've been doing that for 10 or 15 years at least. And I say bread, but when you're making your own bread, you can create basically a breakfast, a slice of breakfast. It doesn't have to just be wheat or white bread or whatever. You can get really creative. All different types of grains and flours, dried fruits. I like to crush pumpkin seeds. Put them in there. Awesome. So that's your breakfast. For a long run, I usually do a couple bananas, big bowl of oatmeal, a couple pieces of the ultimate toast, a lot of water. But my secret weapon is, again the question was, how do you maintain your weight? My secret weapon is, well, first of all, to take a step back. Everything we eat is minimally processed, minimal additives. So my secret weapon is minimally processed vanilla ice cream. Now, as part of the training and maintaining weight, I weigh myself every morning, and literally I can guess what my weight's going to be before I even step on the scale. Within 0.2, 0.5 at the most. Depending on how hydrated I feel or whether or not I've gone to the bathroom or not. But I maintain my weight by knowing what it is. And if I'm not doing as well as I need to be doing, because of increased mileage or intensity, then I go to the secret weapon, which is minimally processed vanilla ice cream. I'll eat at least a gallon of that a week. The calories are good. Helps me keep the weight on. Doesn't affect my sleep. So it is quite a scientific process. Maintaining your weight as an ultra runner. There's been several recent videos on social media about and by ultra runners about how many of them actually suffer from eating disorders. And that's sad, but based on what I just described, it can be easy to fall into that trap. But at my age, I don't have any issues like that because I don't really care how fast I am. I'm not competing against anybody but my own mind when I'm out there in the wilderness. I don't have to be faster. I'm not using a watch to see how fast I'm going. I just need to be strong, steady, and safe. So I don't worry about the eating disorder thing. Although I do have to manage that weight. Well, we're getting into the woods now. Eventually, in about a mile, this trail comes out to the memorial marker, grave marker or memorial marker or whatever that I featured in one of my previous videos. And I mentioned that one of the gifts that was left in honor of this person or whomever, whatever is buried there was a coin. And that I would try and figure out what it was. Well, I figured that out sleuthing on the internet, and it's a year 2000 centennial dollar. Susan B. Anthony holding infant child in her hands. Not Susan B. Anthony. Sacagawea. So maybe it is related to the native folks that live here. Well, I did figure it out. It's a centennial dollar from the year 2000. It's engraving of Sacagawea and her infant child in her arms on the front. A beautiful coin. Some of them are worth quite a few dollars on the internet. So take a look. Well, that's pretty much my update for now. I'll keep filming until we get to the Sacagawea spot. And then I gotta start putting some miles on. It's hard to believe that we have sunshine and 50 degrees. It's been so miserable lately. Well, now I'm lost. Look where we are. Gotta go back this way, I think, to find let's go cross country. See if we can find the burial spot. Maybe I just missed it, because this sure looks right. Well, like I say, the first time I found it, it was years before I found it again. There it is. Wow. Whew. Here we are again. There's the coin down there. There's the hand. Somebody's gotten into the candle, some sort of creature. We'll put him back. Little teeth marks in there. Just beautiful. And once again, I honor this spot because it means a lot to somebody, or to quite a few people. Okay, I'm going to say goodbye as we look out at Wisconsin Point and the beacon and another trout fisherman heading out. We'll talk to you soon. Bye. So it is actually in the 50s. I decided to stop here at the old Bowie house, take off a layer or two. Way too hot. If you didn't see that earlier video where I filmed this Bowie house, you should. It's historically and artistically important as far as I'm concerned. I'll run out in front because the last time I was here, I said that boats used to dock off of there, but all you could see was a few posts sticking out of the water. But now the water is so low, you can actually see the old dock. You know, a little while ago I messed up talking about my coin. Not my coin, the coin at the memorial site. And I said Susan B. Anthony instead of Sacagawea. And I thought, well, how did I do that? Well, I guess it's because there's just so much going on in the news right now about all Americans who have, other than even whether they can improve it or not, other than pure white blood. You're reading about all the famous ones for sure, and I guess that's how I got them all confused. But for now, it is what it is, and we all have to take care of each other. Once again, we'll say goodbye to the Beacon House. We'll go out and look at the dock that was invisible before, and then we'll get back to running. The buoy house is what it's called. Every day you come, it's different. Now, all of this old stuff has been out there since the 1800s. There used to be a road out to the buoy house. Look at that. And I think I've mentioned, even one on Ann's Beach, if you run these coastlines, or say you're a gem collector, you go out and look for rocks and stuff, eventually you come across the remains of old ships with their ribs sticking out of the sand. And this is when you find it, when the water's low. Amazing history. Goes for hundreds of years. Okay, now that you've seen everything in the springtime, I'm going to head back on the trail and get some miles in. And hopefully the next day I film is just as beautiful. Well, here we are back to the rig. 8.4 miles, not too bad. I had to take it easy. Too much sand. I have a way of hurting myself in the sand, so. But otherwise, it was a great run. Now I got to get home so I can order my new coffee mug from Trevor Cully's new store. What a beautiful coffee mug it is. I will put a link next time I'm out so that other people can order an awesome coffee mug from Trevor Cully. Have a good day. See you soon. Bye.